I've had the PlayStation 5 Pro for over a week ahead of its upcoming launch. I've been gaming, I've been counting pixels.
Ah, that's 1, 2, 3. 3 fabulous
pixels. Here's everything you need to know about the PS5 Pro and if the upgrade is actually worth it. Let's go. Let me know any questions you have about the Pro in the comments down below. So starting off with unboxing this thing, it is actually a lot smaller in terms of its box size compared to the original PlayStation 5, but the Pro is roughly the same height as the original, but it's a lot slimmer, somewhere in between the original and the slim in terms of its like thickness, you know? But it feels quite sturdy to hold, which is great for someone like me that moves their PlayStation from one room to the other, depending on if I'm recording or just chilling on the couch and playing. The faceplates are different to the slim, so if you do have a slim, you will need different faceplates for the Pro if you've got custom plates there. But otherwise, it's very similar to the Slim in terms of its outputs. It's got the 2 USB-Cs at the front, 2 USB-A at the back, plus the HDMI and the power and an Ethernet port there as well. And just like the Slim, it doesn't come with a disk drive or a vertical stand. They do need to be purchased separately. However, if you are moving from an existing PlayStation onto this one, that install process is very easy. You can actually import all of your data from the old PS5 into this one if you do have it, which is fantastic if you live in Australia because download speeds here suck, and re-downloading 1 terabyte is going to take you about 57 years. Now, other than the 2 terabyte SSD, which is an amazing upgrade that you get right out of the box, there are 3 like Pro key features that the PlayStation have been talking about. The first is the upgraded GPU, which is 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this calculates to about a 45% faster rendering for gameplay experiences. Advanced ray tracing, essentially here because of the extra compute power, games will be able to crank up their ray tracing settings and cast more of these like ray traced shadows and lights, etc. throughout the scenes. The big one, I think, however, is the AI driven upscaling. So PlayStation is introducing their PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. To boil it down in layman's terms, this is basically PlayStation's response to NVIDIA's DLSS, AMD's FX Super Resolution. It's their version of this, allowing you to upscale images from say 1080p all the way to 4K or even 8K in some scenarios. The PS5 Pro does have the capability to output 8K, not that I have an 8K TV, but No Man's Sky, I think right now is the only game that is currently supporting it, but there's definitely the option there to future-proof that if it does eventually happen. So what games are actually Pro enhanced and how can you find them? Well, PlayStation has put out a blog, which I'll link down below, with a list of 50 plus enhanced games. These are either enhanced right now or going to be enhanced very soon alongside the launch of the Pro. You can also see on the store if a game is Pro enhanced. It does have a little tag now to say that this is Pro enhanced. It doesn't appear you can currently specifically search if a Pro enhanced game exists. Like there is no filter to just search for Pro enhanced games. I asked PlayStation about this and I do hope it does come in the future. I just think that would be such a good quality of life upgrade, especially if you are upgrading to a Pro. It's just a really simple way to be able to see, oh, these are all the games just in the store that are Pro enhanced, make it so easy to buy them, or, you know, if you wanted to re-download them, all that good stuff. Also, if you're wondering about PSVR 2, there is one PSVR 2 game in the blog that is currently Pro enhanced. You can actually see this on the store as well. I don't have a PSVR 2, so I can't personally test this myself, so I won't be talking about it in this review, but if you do have a PSVR 2, it's just something to point out that there will be some, but the breadth of that and what those changes actually are, you might be looking for someone who's actually in the VR space if you want to know more details there. I also want to point out as well that you can now enhance PS4 games. There is a new specific option in the settings under screen and the video output to enhance the image quality of PS4 games. While you're in this menu, you should make sure that you have all the bells and whistles turned on so you can actually get the benefits for the Pro. Like make sure you're using the HDMI cable that comes with the Pro because it does have the necessary bandwidth to be able to support all the features of the Pro, and obviously make sure your TV can support it as well.
These things had a lousy low definition picture.
That's true. On a TV like this, I bet you couldn't even make out my obscene tattoo.
That's cute. You can actually see your video signal here and what's actually being output onto the screen. But that PS4 enhancement is an interesting thing. So the only PS4 game I had installed was Bloodborne. So I booted this up and you can actually see the difference here. It is upscaling the image. Something to note is that this is upscaling the resolution with PSSR. It's not adding additional frames, right? So Bloodborne being locked at 30, this isn't going to get you 60 frames, and that's essentially across the board for all PS4 and PS5 games, really. They're all have a locked frame rate, so you will get extra resolution here. The image will be a little bit crisper, but you might see some like jagged edges because it is using that AI enhancement to upscale the image, but you can still see a little bit of a benefit there, which I think is a nice touch that they have gone back to add this feature to give a bit of a boost and some love to the old PS4 games. I do quite like that. It would also be nice if this feature was available for PS5 games that didn't support the PS5 Pro, but maybe that'll come down the line. The biggest comparison I noticed when testing myself was actually Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, especially the difference between the PS5 performance mode and the Pro versatility mode. So the Pro version's output is called versatility, which is essentially the graphics mode, but outputting at 4K and targeting 60 FPS. It does get pretty damn close to that 60 FPS, and to my naked eye, I couldn't see any frame drops or anything like that. It did look very smooth in terms of its image quality being at 4K and being 60 frames per second. That's a massive difference for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is one that I was definitely pretty critical of at launch, of the performance mode looking, to be honest, absolutely terrible, and the graphics mode just, I'm awful with 30 FPS. It just doesn't look good to me, and I hate playing games at 30, especially action games like this. So, being able to play this at a higher fidelity while still maintaining that 60 frames per second is perfect and is a pretty big win. Some games like Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and a few of the Sony or PlayStation specific games do have new 30 FPS fidelity modes, or say a balanced mode in between a fidelity and a performance, but a pro version of that, so with extra bells and whistles. For Horizon Forbidden West, this comes with new upscaling and anti-aliasing algorithm, resulting in a 60 FPS gameplay and resolution mode quality. There's improved character skin and hair, improved depth of field rendering, bringing more smoothness and stability, and a bunch of other changes. This is also reflected in Horizon Zero Dawn as well. There is a pro enhanced version of that. Insomniac Games are just absolute wizards, and there is a ton of new settings for the pro enhanced version of Spider-Man 2. There is a Fidelity Pro mode, which targets 30 frames per second, but comes with a bunch of experimental new ray tracing features that you can toggle on and off. That'll improve the ray tracing quality of mid to far distance shadows and cascaded shadow maps, as well as the reflections and all those juicy ray tracing things that you'd be used to. But you can actually lower these and have VRR or 120 Hertz display mode turn on, and you'll get above that 30 frames per second while still maintaining all of those main fidelity benefits. Or you could just go straight to Performance Pro, which is essentially the standard fidelity mode but enhanced with the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, allowing you to get all of the ray tracing benefits from the PlayStation's original fidelity mode, but then getting 60 FPS out of that. And that's something that you'll see pretty consistently with all of these games. Basically, the best metric is that pretty much everything that had a fidelity mode that was 30 FPS, that same or roughly the same fidelity mode will now be 60 FPS. So if getting that visual fidelity quality, but also wanting to get that 60 frames per second performance boost is important to you, then you'll definitely see the benefits there. I did also try some games that weren't enhanced, like Black Myth Wukong, which has a performance mode that is quite bad and a graphics mode that is sort of just okay. No changes there at all that were noticeable to the naked eye or in recordings. So I wouldn't be expecting to boot up games that aren't specifically tagged with Pro Enhance and see really realistically any benefits at all. It will absolutely require some development time and developers to actually enable some new settings or make these changes for them to actually get these enhancements, as most games do come with a locked frame rate, so you're not going to get any of those benefits or changes. And because the enhanced option we discussed earlier for PS4 games is only available for PS4, you won't see any changes for any of the PS5 games that aren't specifically listed as Pro Enhanced. The big question though is it worth it? Now the PS5 Pro retails at about 1,200 Australian dollars and about 700 US. This is a really expensive upgrade, especially right at this very minute when there is only about 50 games that utilize its power. And because it's not launching alongside a major new release, think something like Ghost of Yotei next year, if you're a hardcore PlayStation fan, you've probably already played a lot of the games that this is enhancing day one. So this may not be a necessary upgrade for you that you want to get right now. Before PlayStation reached out to send me a unit, I was actually planning to purchase one myself, but when the Ghost of Yotei came around, right, I am keen to play that game in maximum fidelity and looking as incredible as it possibly can. I also think there's a bit of a missed opportunity here, as this is the premium PlayStation experience, right? This is the Pro. It doesn't come with the vertical stand or the disk drive that we mentioned earlier, but I also think a low-key missed opportunity here really is the Edge controller, right? Like that, elite controller that could have come with this console would really have added to that premium feeling of getting a new console and a new controller like you get every time you get that upgrade, when you move into the next generation. It would feel different in your hand and on the screen, whereas right now you've only got that screen experience, which isn't necessarily enough of a jump that makes it feel new and exciting. So while there is a lot of benefits to the Pro, specifically for the PS5 PS4 games and even the enhancements to the existing PS5 games, I really think that the Pro will grow into itself and its place in the industry, because right now you've probably played all the games that are going to be enhanced, but next year with Ghost of Yotei and pretty much every major release, both from PlayStation and from third parties, are going to come with a Pro enhanced version. So you'll actually see those benefits straight off the bat with a brand new experience. That is where the value will lie in the PlayStation 5 Pro, especially when you can visually see those differences in those brand new releases. And that's honestly what excites me the most. It's not playing these old games that I have already played before with a little bit of extra bells and whistles. It's about that future proofing with the PSSR and how these brand new releases next year and beyond are going to look on this console and how close we can get that experience to the PC. But let me know your thoughts on the PS5 Pro in the comments down below. Can you see the differences? Are you going to grab one of these? I'm really interested to know your thoughts down below. But also, this is something brand new that we've done on the channel. I've never done something like this. So just your general feedback on a video like this, I would absolutely love as well. But thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.